Alright everybody, welcome back to another Friday Night Magic tournament from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name, as always, is Zachary Evans. Tonight I'm joined, at least partially, by Chris Booth. And we are right into round one tonight. I don't have pairings. Jamie forgot to print me off a sheet, so I'm not sure exactly how many people we have. Did he say 20?
24, I think.
24, somewhere in that ballpark at least. And our round four feature match features two stream regulars. On the left, it's Joe Lewis playing an American Control deck, which you can easily make out from his turn 2 Augur into War Leader's Helix. And his opponent is Scotty Wright, who is still piloting Junk Aristocrats. It's a deck that he's had a fair amount of success with in the last few months. And that is, in fact, what he's piloting tonight. So 4 rounds of Swiss tonight, followed by a cut to top 8. And I warn everyone in advance that I might be taking off early because I'm going to the PTQ in Columbus tomorrow, which means I leave the Valley at 6. So I might just pack it in a little bit. Of course, the last time I did that, where I had somewhere to go the next morning, I quit a little bit early, and then I spent the next 2 hours just out there, like, trading and talking, and it didn't really matter too much. But
You had good intentions.
I will allow myself to occasionally enjoy the card shop. You know, last week we had that Modern Masters Winner Box, that free tournament.
Right, Vickers.
And he came in second, yeah. I played in that. That's the first time I'd played competitive standard in 14 months. And I had as much fun as I'd had in forever. It was a lot of fun, yeah. So it's actually, believe it or not, I actually do enjoy playing Magic. I just don't...
don't get the chance.
You gotta make your break. It's also very easy when you want to play in a standard tournament and you just tell people, hey, can I borrow this entire deck? And then 3 people put it together for you the night before.
Yeah.
And then you just pick it up and pilot it.
It's pretty easy right there.
Alright. I need to actually commentate about the match at hand. But I have a lot of crap to do first. Alright. Fair warning, this one is delayed. This one is live. So Veryl's got dissipated. But Scotty still has somewhat of an engine on board, as he has a Cartel Aristocrat and 2 Doom Travelers to feed to it, so he's just a Blood Artist away from a pretty significant board state here. He's going to sack 1 Doom Traveler to his Aristocrat, giving it, I imagine, Pro Blue, so that he can attack in. Triggering Morbid, possibly, so that he can get rid of the Augur Bolus with a Tragic Slip. Or maybe just trying to force through some damage. Looks like it just might be the latter. When was the last time you played an FNM? Over under 2 years.
Over 2 years. Probably Zendikar, bro.
You make me look like a I don't know. Words are failing me, but
yeah, I don't know. It's been so long. I still love the game. I just don't. The standards.
Well, you're an active cube enthusiast.
Oh yeah.
And Commander player, so it's not like the game. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget it. You just come back to it later. If they print some cards in Theros that I'm excited about, I can definitely see the potential for getting back into competitive standard. Have you seen any of the spoilers and stuff for it?
I like the artwork a lot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the setting that they're going with, the thematics, and then the art. The art on the god characters is pretty amazing.
Yeah, they look really good.
So Joe finds his 4th land. Serving in with the Augur usually indicates that he's lining up a Supreme Verdict, which in this case will only leave a Spirit token. So Scotty unable to find a Blood Artist before the Sweeper comes down, which is usually the Aristocrats deck's best way of interacting with that. And he's going to cast both halves of a Lingering Soul while Joe is tapped out. And then Joe is going to land Thundermaw Hellkite. Seems like a good answer to 4 Lingering Souls. So Scotty is definitely on the back foot here.
They brought him back again in the new core set?
The Thundermaw?
Yeah.
No, he was 1 and done in M13. No one is upset about that.
Is he not rotated yet?
No, the way that the rotation works now is that there's a 2-month period where the 2 core sets overlap, and then the rotation hits when the next fall set comes out.
Gotcha. So unlike the fall sets, whenever it's like a release time, it's...
Yes,
okay.
Exactly. They changed that. I think this is like the 3rd cycle they've done that in.
See, that tells you.
Yeah. Yeah. So Thundermaul's serving in here, and Scotty has activated the Abyss mode on his Lingering Souls. Yin Sang.
I was hiding.
Oh, shit. Now joined by Yin Sang on a chair that's too low? Is that one broken, or just...
No, it's just, it went down a little bit when I said
It's a low rider seat. So Cartel Aristocrat attempted from Scotty, and we see a Syncopate answer that. So does Scotty have a follow-up play? He can flash back his Lingering Souls.
His follow-up play is attack for 1.
And that is, in fact, what he's going to do. Leaving a black mana open in case he did draw a Tragic Slip, he can answer the Thundermaul, assuming Joe does not have another permission spell here. Very dramatic.
Boom.
Scotty activates Kung Fu Grip motion on his Spirit token. And I think Scotty is... Scotty's obviously in a world of hurt here against 6 untapped mana and a Thundermaul, but he's got to be pretty content with just trading his Lingering Souls, fogging for 4 turns off of 1 Lingering Soul. So now with a Doom Traveler, if he can find a sack outlet, it's just going to fog for another turn. So
Yeah.
I mean, Joe did reveal the Lightning Helix early in the game off of an Augur of Bolus, so we know that his life total is effectively 17. So
Or Leader's Helix.
what did I say?
Lightning.
Well, if he'd revealed one, then that would have been instantly it'd be good for
DQ.
Scotty because that'd be a DQ, and not the cool treats, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yesterday, on August 8th, who's yesterday, right? Dairy Queen was running some kind of promotion where for every Blizzard that was purchased on August 8th, they would donate to children's charities, like health charity. And so I tried to convince my wife to go get us Blizzards, and if she didn't, she hated children. It didn't work. She didn't go because it was like 9:15, and I think they close at 9. But we were watching some show.
She hates children.
According to me, she does. We were watching something on TiVo, and it was like the ad in the TiVo show. Yeah, and I was like, "That's today! Holy crap, we gotta go!" Because that's a good excuse for me, the fatty that I am. So Tragic Slip, and he's going to blink.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you would expect that.
Well, I didn't.
When he hit the Thunderball, he got 4 or 5 Lingering Soul tokens.
Yeah, he got a Scotty.
Played
he had played in flashback souls after Joe verdict away his board.
Yeah.
So while Joe's tapped out, he lands front and back half of souls, and then Joe untaps 5th land right to Thundermaul, and then that was the game that you walked into.
All right.
Thundermaul's a heck of a magic card, right?
Yeah, well, it can be. It can also die to a
Ultimate
prize.
Don't be that guy. The guy who's like, what was it when it was?
Well, no, I only mentioned that because it actually happened on feature match with me. Like, not a camera feature match, but on a feature match.
I'm just
As
kidding.
a Star City event.
I'm just kidding. It was funny because I can't get the stupid Affinity logo. It's not stupid by any means. There we go. I just mentioned it because like when like that's everyone's go-to card evaluation technique is that like, well, that card's pretty good. Well, it dies to removal. Of course it does. Like there's like one card that doesn't. It's Aetherling. I mean, like, was Baneslayer Angel bad? Like you could Doomblade it. It was also Baneslayer Angel.
The only thing I don't understand right now is like the Hydra. Like obviously, like
Colonial Hydra?
yeah, well, almost any Hydra really. Like the point is that the Hydras are really awesome if they live.
Mm-hmm.
And
There are a lot of, I mean, for example, like Olivia. Olivia's the kind of card, like, if you slam it, if you get to untap with it, you win the game most of the time, but you don't get to untap with it a lot. Like, it's not any different than, the Hydra. Yeah. They have been printing cards like Ship and Dragon since the dawn of time. It's like, can you deal with this? No, then I'm going to win, probably. Yeah, but the Hydra especially, like, it attacks for 8 on its first turn. Like, an 8 power 5-coster, like, used to be a thing.
Than Spectral Force.
A thing to go nuts about on the internet. Yes, it's better. It's also better than Verdant Force if you want to go deep on it. I think I got rid of the splash thing for the store because it was atrocious. Whatever. We'll just use that, and then that. We do want to thank the folks here at Lost Legion Games and Comics who let us record and broadcast their FNM every week. So So make sure if you're in the area. Every week I try to explain to people that like you obviously don't have a lot of reason to come to West Virginia specifically.
Right.
But you will probably drive through West Virginia if you live on the East Coast.
It happens.
Yeah, because you know what's between the Midwest and the beach?
Here.
Yeah, I-64 literally had to drive past the shop. I could pick up a rock and, well, I can't hit the interstate, but potato gun, I could get there maybe. But yeah, if you're ever in the area, if you're ever in the area, we've got a store in Parkersburg, which is right on the I-77 border with Ohio. The store here, and then 2 further down south in Princeton and Beckley. So if you're ever in the area,
both along 64s.
Yeah, they're all along the interstate. It's almost like they planned that.
Yeah.
And there was some talk on. It's just very. Like initial level talk on the Facebook page, but somebody's trying to get them to open a store in Ashland, which, to be perfectly honest, would probably be a good move because Ashland is not saturated. Like I don't think there's a store there anymore.
Yeah.
There used to be like the Danzig corridor, and like it was like in Catlettsburg, and
I think the Ashland crowd now plays in Huntington somewhere.
Yeah, they all do. Yeah, the guy who won our Modern Masters like our free customer appreciation, he's Mike Robb, we call him Mike Robinson. He's from Ashland. Like he goes and plays at hometown. And I'm not necessarily trying to take players away from hometown, but the point I'm trying to make is that they have a considerable presence. So if you're ever in the area, there's somewhere you could go.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about our Modern Masters Winterbox tournament we had last week, which was we had 40 people for that.
That's quite a few.
The store was, you were here playing other games, right?
Yeah.
Like the store was full all day.
I know.
And it was, I mean, I don't know, it was really good. It was a really good time for a lot of people. We had RPGs. We had Warhammer League.
Warhammer was playing.
Yeah.
We just started a Warhammer 40K campaign.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there was a bunch of us here, and then there was clicks going on too. So.
Yeah, and then the RPG guys were here, and some people playing board games. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I always like when I take pictures and stuff of like each FNM. Like I always try to highlight that. But it's like we have a pretty sizable Magic community, and I'd imagine like Magic and Warhammer probably run neck and neck as far as like the most sizable things that help keep the store open. Although they do a lot of comics now.
Yeah, they really do.
At the old store, they really didn't, but now here they do that a lot. But like even if Magic is not your thing, or like if you want to branch out, there's definitely something to do down here. But we'll talk more about that tournament, and then we'll talk about coming up a week from tomorrow, our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier $250 cash tournament. Last time we had one of those, we had 52 people for it. And we're hoping to have the same kind of turnout for that. So if you're in the area, you know, it starts at noon next Saturday. It's definitely something that you can make the trip for if you're in, Columbus.
So no Max again this week.
I
think he's working at that.
He is, yeah. I will just leave it at that.
Gotcha.
It's very, as I told him, it's like what your parents says. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I think he will no longer be with us.
Very random fact. Nothing goes on in strip clubs at 6 o'clock.
What?
That was a very quick trip. But,
and this is
no, not just now.
This has been fun facts with Yin Sang. Fun fact, guys. Is there context to that? You can't just come in here and drop that bomb on us.
No, today was like our last day of work at the clerkship,
Mm-hmm.
so we all went out to the strip club after.
At 6 o'clock?
Yeah, well, like 5:30 to 6:30 or so.
So we're all starting here, and I will point out that this is a picture that Joe sent me. On the left, he has a full art, what I call the Cup Island. I've also heard bowl and bucket. People who've watched the stream know that is my least favorite card ever printed.
So that's why he plays it.
Yes, it is, and he sent me a picture of that. He's had it altered, and we have been posting a pretty sizable and a lot of very quality alters on our Facebook page.
Now, are they just sending them in for you to get recognition, or are they sending them to you to keep? Or...
No, those are just, they send me a picture and then I post them because it's fun to share those. And you can see that on our Facebook site. There's some really good ones on there, and Joe sent me that one. I refuse to post it because it's still a Cup Island.
You're like,
I'm not supporting the enemy. Cup Island.
There's been some pretty awesome artwork.
Yeah, I posted one last night, which was by, of course you can view all these at facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Make sure you like the page while you're over there. From Tommy Moles, a.k.a. Spike Mo, who's up in Boston. He went to the Las Vegas GP, and he had Steve Argyle alter a couple cards for him, and there's a couple of them that are just like really, really nice. He did your Liliana's, didn't he? Don't you have some Liliana's that are
altered? I don't have
altered?
any altered ones.
Or Garrick ones? You have some alters.
My alters were, I had a Garrick that was altered, but that's Eric.
Eric Deschamps?
Yeah. Steve Argyle is one that I actually really want.
You know who ended up with those altars on those Eternal Witnesses that have always been floating around the play set? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. I don't know where they ended up. So we see a Duress Resolved This is the worst because you can take that verdict, but you're going to eat the other one.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you're gonna eat all the other shit, yeah.
The top deck's land.
He doesn't.
Uh-oh.
He's still going to cast the Lingering Souls into the potential board wipe.
It's gonna take what, like 6 here?
Yeah, I mean because the we don't have an elemental token, but the Jerry Thompson zombie token, or that's Merit Lodge, I believe,
Yeah.
representing the Voice of Resurgence token. So Joe is going to have to drop down to 10 Shocky himself to clear everything but one voice token. But we know, Scotty's going to flash that back and immediately get in for 3 more, assuming he doesn't add anything else to the board. So he's potentially on a 3-turn clock here. As we know, Joe Joe can untap and Azorius Charm the token away, but still he's going to eat some damage here. And we do know that this Aristocrats deck, despite being junk in colors, actually plays like a burn deck in the late game, as Blood Artist triggers can give you some reach.
Well, this is what won the Modern Masters term, is it not? The junk Aristocrats, or what was he? What beat Vickers last week?
It was this deck.
I was
Junk
saying it was the
Aristocrats.
Aristocrats.
That's a matchup that Vickers is probably not going to win more than
Bad, like
4 times maybe out of 10.
35, 40.
So we know Joe is sitting on 2 Azorius Charms here. So he's going to for sure Azorius Charm the Voice of Resurgence token. Then it'll be a question of, I can't tell is that a mountain that he has there altered?
Yeah.
So,
well, there is
the
one.
first one? The first card up there, first land?
Because he played a Bull Island, and then he played a mountain on his altar.
Yeah, he's moved the Bowl Island. It's third over.
Yeah, the mountain's the second one over, I think. The first one's
is
a cliff
it
top.
a red-white land?
So what I'm thinking, it's Cliff Top Retreat at the very top. What I'm thinking is I don't think he has the mana to double charm here if he wants to.
Not enough blue.
No. And we're going to see a Skursdag High Priest
He
followed
has
by
two
a
blue.
Doom.
He has a Howl Fountain in the island.
Yeah, but I don't think he has double white.
Double white, okay.
Yeah.
No.
If that's a mountain.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
It's very hard for me to do. Like I'm a technical professional and I can't count to 4.
1, 2, 3.
I give up.
Yeah.
But Scotty jamming the board here, try to maximize the number of the damage, forcing. He knows that the Azorius Charm is coming, but I don't think that really changes his line of play at all. So Joe draws. We know that he's drawn that card, so we know the cards that we know are in his hand are Restoration Angel and Azorius Charm.
Yep.
So there's a Sin Collector, which is going to take an Azorius Charm. Joe might as well cycle it, I would think, right? And hope you draw a Thundermaw.
Well, something that's not it's indoor sorcery.
It's very likely.
Cycle it into your verdict.
It's very likely that you're going to discard whatever you draw, but you can always draw a land. And it was a Staticaster, so he's in a pretty good spot here.
That's pretty good.
So if you're Scotty, you serve in here with both of the spirits. That way, when Joe plays a Staticaster to kill them, you can, in response, make a demon.
I mean, he can leave the spirit behind. It doesn't really matter. As long as he only attacks with 2 things, I think.
No, he can't attack with his spirits.
No, I mean, as long as he only attacks with 2 things.
Yeah, yes.
Because he doesn't want to.
The thing you said is correct, Ian?
Yeah.
The thing I said was incorrect. Well, no, what happens here if he... No, it's fine, yeah. No, if
triggers
this,
the demon.
this... Okay, I like this here. The Skursdag High Priest, the card at the bottom, you can, if a creature has died that turn, you can tap it and 2 other creatures, make a 5/5 demon.
Gotcha.
So in the spot here, Scotty correctly lines up his attacks because
He wants to leave
the
4
Sin,
dudes open.
well, the Sin Collector is a 2/1. So if he had attacked with both of his spirits, then Joe could have flashed in the Staticaster, killed a 2/1.
And then wouldn't have enough
Yes,
to tap
he
for
just has to have...
4 guys to make sure he gets a demon through.
Yeah.
That is
Actually, the play that I was talking about was much worse.
You were going to attack with both spirits.
Yeah, because I forgot that the Sin Collector was a 2/1, and
So
then
you pop it in and kill him.
yes,
for 1.
and you would take 2 damage, but
You wouldn't be able to make your demon.
yeah. So now Joe's in an awkward situation where he can't do it on his turn. He can do it on Scotty's turn. But then Scotty can also at any point draw a sack outlet. and win the game from there.
Yeah.
So Joe has a Staticaster we know about, a Restoration Angel we know about, and a third card he's just drawn that I did not see.
Red.
Every card I see in his hand, it looks like the same Staticaster, so I don't know if he has two of them or I'm just making things up. There's a Cartel Aristocrat, so now Scotty can make demons at his choosing, which makes his attack options a lot better. So Joe, considering the Aristocrat still in the stack. I just heard Zach Vilianco out there said Zach trading post to itself. Only Zach Vilianco would say that. He's playing a volatile rig again. Surprisingly, the volatile rig does a lot of work.
It's a 4/4 for 4 mana. It does very interesting things.
So we're starting with the 2 spirits, and we're going to
Mash on 2 spirits.
Yep. So the interesting thing, the way that works is Staticaster reads.
Deals 1 damage to target creature.
And yeah, so if you sack the creature it targets, it doesn't do the damage to the other ones. So
the damage that resolved.
So interesting interaction there. So Scotty sacrificing it to the Cartel Aristocrat, which triggers Morbid on his High Priest, so there is the 5/5 Demon. And of course Joe's deck better suited to deal with the demons than a lot of decks, not only because he's playing sweepers, but he also has Azorius Charms, though he has burned through 2 of them already.
Man, a verdict would be awesome.
It would not be awesome. I don't want Flash or American control to win.
Yeah, and doing the
non-control deck.
The ever faithful, completely unbiased reporting.
Completely unbiased.
One of these decks I hate. So he's going to activate Staticaster targeting the High Priest, blink it with his Restoration Angel, and then ping the High Priest. So he's only going to have to deal with the 1 demon so far, but he's going to take a lot of damage here. He's going to have to chump the demon, 3 mana, Lingering Souls. $24 minutes remaining in the round.
For the kill, I guess.
Oh yeah, we're going to cast Lingering Souls, activate Morbid, Tragic Slip, the Restoration Angel, which makes the Demon token lethal. Scotty gets there in game 2. These matchups are pretty fair. I mean, these are Staticaster is the games where Joe. It's actually pretty surprising in games where Joe draws Staticaster that he's not a huge favorite there.
Seems like the standard format right now is kind of healthy. Like there's several viable decks in the format.
People were talking about the when that.
I think
there was a play where like he could have attacked with 1 or 2 spirits.
Yeah, I think he got to the right.
Yeah.
Like, the one I suggested, I think in retrospect was wrong because he could have been the Sin Collector. I think Scotty found the right answer there.
Yeah.
I think it made a huge difference because if he doesn't make that demon, he's still in a great spot.
But he's not.
But
got
he's
the lethal.
Yeah, he's got Joe tapped very low and forces him to chump with his Restoration Angel. So it turns out making the right play is advantageous in the game of Magic. So congratulations to Scotty Wright for being smarter than all of us.
Making right plays wins you games.
You can tell that I'm being responsible. Although I'm drinking water here. No A&W this week. I also don't think they have A&W this week.
It's still bottled water.
They've still got the My Little Pony themed like energy drink. Have you seen that? Some kind of Rainbow Dash. It's not an energy.
0% juice. No, it literally says 0% juice.
0% healthy.
I think it's literally just water, sugar, and carbonation.
Well, it's for little kids. What else would you give them? But what's funny is it's in a very small can.
Yeah, it's like Red Bull size can.
Yeah, but it's not an energy drink at all. Other than the sense that it's like completely sugar. It's just corn syrup in a.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as some kind of, for the love of God, look at me. It's not like I'm judging it based on its dietary content, but I do think it's funny. They're clearly trying to make it look like a energy drink. They've gone so far as to brand it with Rainbow Dash. So I mean, you could have chosen a lot of other ponies, but Rainbow Dash has that
Dash.
get up and go. And that's what that's come. It's what it's come to now in 49th week of this live stream is talking about Rainbow Dash energy drinks.
Well, doesn't somebody? No, those are Nyan Cat sleeves, aren't they?
Yeah, Chad.
Chad has.
Chad's got Nyan Cat sleeves. I'm sure somewhere out there's Rainbow Dash sleeves.
I'm sure there is.
Last week I forgot to pop up the Thrag Test count. Last week the Thrag Test count across six rounds of Magic, only 3.
What?
Must have chosen really good ones.
The week that we had the the week that we had the first Thrag Test count, it got up to 17, and that was only in one game.
Now he didn't come back either, correct?
Huh?
Thrag Test.
No, he's
gone for
yes.
Yeah, I have to find some other creature. I just won't play Thrag Test.
You just won't play Magic until Thrag Test comes back.
I'm sure I'll play Theros for fun, wherever I am.
On the moon. All right, so we're into the game 3 here, the decider, with Joe on the play, shocking himself with the Sacred Fountain, a clear indication that he has either a Is It Charm if he's playing that, or a Syncopate. It is in fact a Syncopate, which takes out the Cartel Aristocrat, and there we see a sideboarded Ratchet Bomb, which is very good against the tokens deck. Of course, Scotty is not dead to it in any way.
I'm sure Scotty knows how to play around it.
Yeah. Joe also drawing his entire sideboard as we see Rest in Peace come down. Rest in Peace is the kind of card that you don't think... well, I mean, just if you just look at the way the deck plays and you don't really think about it, you would think that Rest in Peace would not have that much of an impact.
But it stops all the morbid.
It stops all the morbid triggers. It stops the flashback on Lingering Souls. It stops Scavenge from Valraz. It stops a lot. But Scotty is also, remember, he's also an Obsidat deck. He also probably in the sideboard games has Garrick Relentless, so it's not like he's...
dead.
Yeah. And Scotty debating whether or not he wanted to shock himself here. Like, that Ratchet Bomb is good. It's a good, not great, I think. Like, it's a conditional sweeper.
Mm.
Like, I don't think it's any better than just like a...
It's your powder keg.
It's not great when you're already playing American Control. It's great when you're playing anything else that doesn't have sweepers against tokens.
Is that how the Abrupt works? The Abrupt is not exiled because...
It's on the stack, it resolves.
Then it's destroyed?
It's destroyed and then it goes... Shit, I don't know.
It literally doesn't matter because Scotty has no way of interacting with instance, but...
I mean, there is a theoretical...
I know with like...
when it could matter.
I know with like a lightning...
Would it go to the graveyard or would
yes.
you remove it?
I know with a lightning bolt on a Dryad Militant, it's removed from the game because damage checks. I don't know about destroy effects if they check, you know what I mean? I imagine it's like the way it is right now, but...
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe's pretty good at rules also, so if he...
Don't tell him that. Then we'll never hear the end of it.
No, I hope he doesn't, actually...
I'm just giving him a hard time. I think it is like that. That was more just for my curiosity than anything. So Scotty is going with Doom Traveler Tribal Beatdown here. You do what you gotta do. These Aristocrat decks, do they main deck a certain number of Abrupt Decays, or is that purely a sideboard card?
No idea. I'm sure people in the chat that were talking about how they play Aristocrats can answer that.
I feel like they did for a while, but I don't think they do anymore.
It is a deck that has changed a lot. I also think it's funny how the deck was called the Aristocrats when it was a red, white, and black deck because it played both Cartel and Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. Then they moved away from the red and are only playing half the Aristocrats, but it's still called Aristocrats. It could be called the Cartel.
The Cartel.
It could be called Junk Token Sack Morbid.
Aristocrats has that flair.
Yeah.
It could be called Ric Flair .deck.
There you go. I like
That's way better.
New name. Change it.
I don't know about that.
Abrupt Decay or Ratchet Bomb.
Ooh.
I mean,
Joe
Joe...
for 0.
Yeah, Joe can't really afford to fight over that either because if he does, Scotty's just going to untap Slam Obsidat or Voice or something else that's going to be a real nightmare for him to deal with. I think Joe is fine with... Oh, you also can't counter it. What am I thinking?
Yeah,
you can't counter Abrupt Decay. So Joe has drawn half of his sideboard, but if these abrupt decays are on the board, he's drawn half of his too. The chat, do Talon in the chat, or Dut Allen in the chat, indicating that it kills, or they usually run 1 to 2 abrupts in the main. End of turn, Joe's going to flash out yet another sideboard card, and is it Staticaster?
Boom.
So block and activate, right?
You don't need to block there, just fine.
You always block.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to, but you
Just in case.
Tragic Slip takes out Staticaster before he can untap and then nug all of the spirits as well. There's a verdict, so we're just going to be left with a 1/1 token, but we still have flashback on... No, we don't have souls. Those were Doom Travelers.
Which guy dies and gets a token?
Voice of Resurgence.
Oh,
Anytime he dies or your opponent casts a spell during your turn, you get a token, XX token equal to the number of creatures. He is a jerk. The card is very good. That card's seeing play in Modern.
That's the one that was like still...
It's almost good enough to see play in Legacy. Like, it's close.
Is it still around 40?
Yeah, it's like 35 or 40, depending on site.
Yeah. It's down at 25 eBay, so roughly.
Still need to get on to that for a cube.
He's pretty cheap now.
Yeah, he went down a lot.
$12 maybe, 15?
12 or
What?
15.
10 to 15? Up to that?
Up to that's like 6 to 8 eBay, so
Woo.
Yeah.
about 12.
I'll be picking one.
So in response to a duress, Joe is going to cycle his Azorius Charm, and then looks like we're going to
Do stuff and things.
cast a War Leader's Helix here, targeting the token. What was the card he revealed?
I didn't see it.
Did not see it either. So Joe down to just 1 card in hand. We know it's a land or a creature. He draws a Clifftop Retreat, 6 mana. There's a Thunderball.
Okay.
So Joe is hellbent with the Thunderball on board, and now it's just a race to see if Scotty can get the last 13 points of damage in over the next 3 turns. His deck is certainly capable of doing it. If he draws a 5th land or an Obsidat, depending on which one he doesn't have, that will definitely change the race math. We also know that Scotty's deck can activate a Tragic Slip and Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. I guess you got to make a token here.
Strawberry Vampires get lifelink.
Yep.
His tokens don't fly, correct?
No, those vampires do not fly. But it'll be interesting to see here, because at some point Joe will have to decide if he wants to kill Sorin or he wants to...
He killed Sorin.
Yeah, I don't know if I do that. I think I just attack Scotty. Because Joe's a burn deck, he can just draw a burn spell and kill him next turn.
Yeah, draw
There's
the
an
Helix.
Angel. It's going to blink in the Angel. Was there any real point to do that in response to the duress? Wouldn't you wait till you attack?
Tragic Slip. Okay.
Yep, so sacking the token, giving a...
Pro White?
Yep.
Yeah.
Activates a Morbid on the Tragic Slip.
That card came out and I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay. But seeing all the decks...
So Joe, this is a race that Joe is going to win. He's going to flash back War Leader's Helix here. Can you sack it to itself? I think you can.
I think it's just sack a creature. Not sack another creature.
Well,
I don't know the archetypes of it.
either way, seems like a mistake, because why wouldn't Joe just
Target
not
damage.
block and then War Leader's Helix?
The face. The dome.
Either way, he got there. So off the back of Thundermaw Hellkite, Joe takes this one.
I didn't know the Helix had flashback.
Well, it doesn't, but he casts a Snapcaster.
Oh.
Snapcaster.
I was like, I'm way out here.
Well, to be fair, he hasn't played.
I don't play Standard.
Yeah.
Snapcaster is also in Legacy and Modern.
Yeah, but I didn't recognize the image from here.
Come on, Booth.
Oh,
This guy.
I mean, He's a one-up in the queue. That's all.
I don't even have him in my queue because I just haven't physically gotten one yet. Because I was waiting for him to reach a now reasonable price as opposed to his he's like $40 at one point.
Yeah.
I remember at GP Columbus last year, I went and sold a couple to vendors for like 27 a piece or something, or there was like over 20, and like it wasn't even seeing play yet. It was just one of those cars, just like it's a 5.5 Flying East Dragon, so it still had like, and it was a Mythic, so it still had that like enough casual appeal to keep it up there.
Yeah.
And then it actually did take off and ended up being a $40 or $50 card for a while, and then kind of back down to a more reasonable. Gary the Lobster, one of my favorite chat names, mentioning that the Cartel Aristocrat is another creature, which I assumed once.
Yeah, it's entirely reasonable.
Once they had not adjusted the life total. Once they had adjusted the life totals, it became very obvious that it was another creature. Otherwise,
Scotty's been playing this deck long enough.
Yeah. You know what? Know what else we've been talking about for a long time?
What?
Not just Scotty's deck, but our Star City Games Invitational Qualifier. Are you coming in? Oh wait, are you going to be in Miami?
I'm going to be in Miami.
In hot Miami. Yen is going on a job interview, and he's going to go tear it up at the club. Bring Matrix style to South Beach. Are you taking your talents to South Beach?
Taking what?
No.
You may have better luck with the strip club at 6 o'clock in South Beach.
Yes, I think you actually will be in a much better situation. But for all of those of you who are not going to South Beach next Saturday, a week from tomorrow at 12 noon, $25 standard tournament. It is a Star City Games Invitational Qualifier. The winner gets $250 in cold hard cash and an invite to the next Star City Games Invitational, which is literally the most lucrative event that's not like a pro tour that you can go to. It is a very high overlay. A lot of prizes are given out. So definitely worth your time. There's packed prizes to the top 8. Additional prizes based on attendance. I think if we can get up to 60, I think we're going to kick in some more goodies in that regard. Then the top 8 gets a bunch of other stuff, playmat and top 8 pin, as well as SCG Open Series points, which are also pretty important if you're trying to qualify for the Invitational manually. Obviously, if you win the event, you get an invite, but otherwise you can earn enough points over multiple events to earn your way into the Invitational. For more information, you can go to LostLegionsGames.com, or you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. There is the location of the store here in beautiful downtown South Charleston, West Virginia. Last time we had one of these back in April, we had 52 players. Everyone said it was a well-run tournament. We had guys come from Virginia, Ohio, and then obviously lots of players from West Virginia. If you've been watching the stream for a long time and are looking for a great way to support the stream, this is definitely a way to do that. It's only 2 hours from places like Columbus, 3 hours from places like Roanoke, Blacksburg, Lexington, and Cincinnati. So 12 a.m. start, or 12 noon start, not an unreasonable trip to make. Plus, we'll be here hanging out. You can meet your favorite stream personalities. And as always, if you physically cannot make it here, we will be streaming the events at twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. You should be watching this site right now, so make sure you click the follow button above and to the left on the old format, or below and to the left on the new format. They'll send you an email to remind you when this thing is going on. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be another feature match, as we are under 10 minutes left in the round. Game 1 in that one finished very quickly, and I was very much afraid that they were going to be done in like 10 minutes, but yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, as a lot of you know, if you follow on our Facebook page, we did have a Customer Appreciation Day last Saturday. You weren't here. Were you out of town for that? Or were you here for that?
I was slightly out of town.
You're slightly...
Well, I was meeting with someone that I wasn't going to see again for a while, so...
No, you had other plans. It's perfectly reasonable. But I just couldn't remember if I had seen you here, and I don't think I had.
Yeah,
but
no, I wasn't.
So we had talked about it ad nauseum going into the event. It was a big, lots of days. We had Modern Masters drafts going on. We had Commander Pods going on. There was, other than just Magic, there was other events going on. Like you said, they just started the new campaign for War Machine. Warhammer. I always get those mixed up.
They bounce.
Yeah. But anyway, the main event was a free entry standard tournament. 30, I think there was 39 players, but give or take 40 from as far as Ashland, which is like over an hour away. The guys from the Parkersburg store came down. It's like almost 2 hours away. It was a really good tournament. It was won by Michael Robinson, who does play over in Ashland. He finished second in our last Star City Games Invitational Qualifier, so he's 2 for 2 on finals of large events here at the store, playing Junk Aristocrats. He beat our own the local legend Adam Vickers in the finals, who was playing Gruul aggro. It was not very close, actually. He beat him 2-0. That's not a matchup that the Gruul deck is really looking forward to. But it was a ton of fun. You're not going to believe this. I actually played competitive standard in that event. There are no pictures to document this. Obviously, there was no stream or anything.
So there's no proof.
There's no proof, but I did play a man after Yen's heart. I did play Jund mid-range.
Sweet.
I made the top 8, and then promptly lost to a burn deck.
It's the only deck worth playing, but, you know,
Well,
that wasn't cool.
when I was thinking about, I knew I was always going to play in the events because I had no interest in streaming it. I just wanted to enjoy myself. And I had two very interesting schools of thought. We actually talked about this on the stream last week. I either wanted to play a real deck, in which case I wanted to play Jund, because it was not only probably the best deck in the format, it was definitely more my play style. It's that kind of
Right.
control, but not really control. You know what I mean?
Still beats, but control.
I don't want to play counter spells, but I want to play that kind of deck. So I was either going to play that, or I was just going to say screw it, and I was going to play Zach Valianco's Primal Surge Defender Ramp deck. Because you're either going to play a deck that you think you can do well and try to do good, or just have fun.
Yeah.
And then the night before, Garrett and Jonathan Wright and Brandon Hart, spearheaded by Garrett. Garrett really wanted to. I think he really wanted me to play a real deck, so they put together Jund for me. We just copied Reed Duke's list off of the Players' Championship. I didn't really want to think about it.
You're just like, yeah, give it.
But it was a ton of fun to play. I went 4-1 in the Swiss. I lost a game in the mirror. I lost, which basically the mirror seems to be whoever draws Olivia first wins.
Mostly.
There was a lot of that going on. I did lose to Olivia in both the games I lost.
I'm still having trouble adjusting the new legends.
Well, actually, the new legend rule did bone me in the third game, where he had an Olivia, and I was behind.
You're like, I'll clear it.
And I had an Olivia in my hand, but not enough mana to play it and steal. If I had 9 mana, you can play Olivia and steal the other Olivia, and then Legend rule his Olivia, and then you're in a great spot. But I only had 8 mana, and so I never drew the 9th land. And so in the old format, with the M14 rule changes, you just play Olivia. They both die, and you reset. Because I believe I had a Huntmaster on board, but
Unfortunate.
yeah. Evil Beard in the chat's telling me to check the Twitter feed, so we'll see what's going on there. But it was a lot of fun.
New playmat.
Oh, he got a new playmat. He did order from our folks. Oh, that's very nice.
Show and tell.
Yeah, so Evil Beard, stream regular, he told me last night he ordered a new playmat from the fine folks over at Ink Playmats who have been pseudo-sponsoring our stream. Looks like he got... what's going on here? Won't let me move it. There we go. Hide Yin. Then, of course, an artwork that needs no explanation, that being the art for the best Magic card ever printed, at least to me.
That's a tough play right there.
It's not my favorite Magic card.
Okay, what's your favorite then?
Well, that one's an easy one. I'll let the stream answer that one for you, but
Okay.
they will definitely get to that. But that's very cool. That, of course,
Cup
from
Island, I know.
Ink. It's not Cup Island. From inkedplaymats.com. Remember, they did hook us up with that sweet feature mat that you see out there, the double playmat. You can get custom double playmats, you can get custom regular playmats, and you can get playmats with, art on them. You can just shop for playmats if you want to. They start as low as $10, and I think you can have custom playmats made for $25. And I'm currently, though I'm very procrastinating, we are in the works to have stream-themed playmats available on the site, so that you can go to Ink Playmats and buy a Zach Sells Magic playmat, and more than likely play with your Magic cards on my face, which is, it seems like an exercise in vanity, but that is kind of our logo, I would imagine, is that wonderful picture.
Right there.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the chat and see if everyone figured out my favorite Magic card.
They didn't tell me.
Gary Lobster wants to know too. It's a very easy question. If you're on the old layout, it's also very easy because it's in the banner. But the new layout won't let me have a banner anymore, so it's not in there. But anyway, so I just want to give an update. We did talk about that event. It was a lot of fun. Lost Legion did make a good showing in the top 4. We had Adam Vickers and Joseph Deal both made the top 4. They played each other, and Adam won that one pretty handily and then lost in the finals. So it was pretty good. It's not Stoneforge, that's Evil Beard. He's trolling me because I make endless fun of him for switching from Show and Tell and Legacy to Esper Deathblade, which is a fair deck. It doesn't look like anyone is going to participate. My favorite magic card of all time is Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt, okay.
It's a good one.
Mine's Edge Oracle.
Edge to Oracle?
Yes.
That's a very...
Gift on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good card. I have a foil one that I keep in my cube, like, JV binder. Like, my cube's not big enough for that card to make the cut.
Right.
But I want it to be that good enough to make the cut.
That's my favorite card.
Yeah. Hello to Matthias watching in the chat. Doesn't get don't see him in the chat that much, but very active on our Facebook page, located in Chile. And then everyone else is talking about something. I don't know. Somebody asked a question. I need opinions from you guys. Going to game day tomorrow. It is Magic 2014 game day tomorrow. I forgot. I do have we have the PTQ in Columbus is tomorrow, so I got distracted by that. But there is the Magic 2014 game day, so make sure you go to your LGS either tomorrow or on Sunday and win that play mat. The Chandler play mat's actually pretty cool. That'd be a good one to win. Should I play Big Naya aggro with Domries or Green Red Domry or Naya mid-range with Huntmasters and Thragtusks?
That one.
I think you could play Naya mid-range with Domries and Huntmasters and Thragtusks.
Throw it all together.
Well, it's Naya, so don't play it at all.
Burn! Hold on. You got that? I got to break out the first aid kit because the sick burn was administered. So we'll put that over here for when this little handle will be a subtle reminder that she's got the sick burn. I don't know. The Naya deck's like the Naya Blitz deck has really dropped out of favor. That deck was very good. I mean, that was a deck that could legitimately kill on turn 4, but it just doesn't seem like it's in a very good spot in the metagame. That deck has a hard time beating the Aristocrats deck, I would think, as well. So obviously that's out. Then from that point, you either go green-red aggro, which is a deck that's fast enough to beat the Aristocrats, or you go with a more mid-range grindy strategy. But if you're going to play Huntmasters and Thragtusks, I think I would much rather splash black for Olivia's and Doomblades and Tragic Slips, as opposed to splashing white for what I imagine is Restoration Angels and Boros Charms, a number of Boros Charms. So that's my honest opinion.
Yeah, splashing black seems better for those options.
Another question from Fatman247. Like his nickname too is what's the best deck in Standard? Somebody else asked me that earlier, which I think is funny that people are asking me what the best anything in Standard is, because Lord knows I don't. Well, that's not true. I follow it. I don't play, but I know it.
Right.
Jund is clearly the best deck, I think. As far as it's a 55 deck against the field.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, it's not the best deck in any given tournament, but like in a vacuum, I think it's very good. And I think the American Control deck would probably be second.
What did you think with the new course? You think they're moving back towards mono, even though they just...
Well, they have said as much that they...
dual lands and no...
Well, that's a bone. Everyone has these like convoluted theories about what lands are going to be reprinted and what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. I think they just realized, hey, we can't have the mana bases that we currently have. We're like, have you seen what they call Jedi Jund? It's a new Jund list that splashes a white for Bloodlord or Blood Baron.
I haven't seen it.
Like you shouldn't be able to play a 3-color deck.
Jund
is already the greediest mana base in the world. You're trying to play Olivia on 4 and Big Garrick on 5. Think about that. Like that's the nuts, isn't it? Is that sequence of plays?
Black, red, 2, and triple green.
Triple green. Yeah, I did that not that, but I did cast a Big Garrick on curve during the tournament in a game where I had cast multiple red and green spells or black spells ahead of time.
Makes you feel like Cube almost when you're doing that kind of stuff.
And I think they just don't. There's this insane theory amongst people that they're going to reprint the Onslaught fetch lands in Theros, which number one is not going to happen. Like, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's not going to happen for a lot of reasons. The most of which is that it doesn't match thematically. They've already spoiled land art, which is very obvious, which is clearly enemy-colored lands. But they're not thematically, it doesn't look like a polluted delta. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like those. And then subsequent to that, there's no way that Wizards of the Coast wants fetch lands plus shock lands in Standard. Like, the mana base is already ridiculous. Can you imagine putting a fetch land in it?
The only reason I can see redoing that,
They will reprint the Onslaught fetch lands. I mean,
it's going to happen to put them in Modern. They're
yeah.
going to do that.
Well, and there's also no reason why.
You should have enemy fetches Modern.
Polluted Delta is what, $100 retail now?
120. It's way up there. Way up.
Yeah, there's no reason that should happen.
No.
And that's something they could easily fix because it's not on the reserve list.
Right.
But they're not going to print it in Theros and have like Magic the Shuffling again, where it's
But
just like.
But I feel like if they are going to reprint it, they're going to do it in a large set, not a small set.
If they're going to reprint the fetch lands, they're going to print the hell out of them so that they become a reasonably priced Magic card.
Then do it in a small set, and then bring everything in.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
But
I don't know how they're going to do it. And like I've recently been battling with. If you follow me on Twitter, @SexSalesMagic on Twitter. I've been having like not an argument, but I've just been getting like increasingly fed up with everyone talking about From the Vault 20. Because like
it's $1 billion. I'd like to have had one.
The going retail is like $250 to $300 is retail, and people are upset about it. And what I like to remind people is two very simple things. Number one, it's not like the first time that From the Vault has been worth more than $39.95. Okay, they're all markups. That's just the nature of the beast. Number two, there's a foil Jace the Mind Sculptor in that box.
You know how much he's going
What
for
do
right
you?
now?
Yeah, it's a $600 retail card at a minimum. Okay, and it's not going to.
Answers your question.
And it's not like that card is going to be worth $600. But like, give me a break. Like, it's very irritating to me as someone who's listened to, you know, I'm usually the guy who has all the old cards, and then I have to like measure my response because like when they reprint cards that I own and then they just get massively devalued, like I have to pretend like I'm not upset about that when I know it helps the game. You know, I know it helps the game in overall.
It makes you sad.
Yeah, but in something like this, it's just so frustrating because like they reprinted Jace. Like what do you want them to do, people? They reprinted Jace and they made it in foil. Like, but yet people still find a way to complain.
I think everyone's what they're dreaming of is like randomly bringing back player awards. And they're like, here's a Jace to everyone.
Yeah, I just don't think people understand how the market works. And I try to explain to people, you know who the biggest problem they have with just wholesale reprinting stuff? You know who will be very upset if they wholesale reprint dual lands, fetch lands, all these other expensive vintage and legacy staples? Star City Games, Channel Fireball, ABU, all these other dealers. That's the reason why the game is so popular, is because they have the secondary retail market that props it up. You can't immediately devalue somebody's inventory by like 50% without ramifications, you know? So there's a lot of factors that go in. But at the end of the day, remember, they reprinted Jace. Yes, they also put a Wolf Run and a Green Sun Zenith in it. But remember From the Vault Lands? It had Shivan Oasis and Desert in it, so it's not that bad. More important.
A couple of interesting cards like Hymn to Turok.
Yeah, first foil printing of Hymn to Turok, alternate art Gilded Lotus looks really cool. It's
right?
Yes, Swords, the first foil of that dual deck art, which is everybody, not consensus, but it's really good. It's From the Vault Cube is what it is, or From the Vault Commander.
Yeah.
Every card in that's good. More importantly, we got round 2 pairings, so let's go out there and find the feature myth.